Welcome to the season finale of the LJ Show. Who said you can't have your cake and eat it too? Today we are celebrating with the Cake Don. I made him an offer he couldn't refuse to be my season finale guest. He's an artist in more ways than one, and he's going to tell you just how he became the Cake Don. Hey, Don.
Hey, LJ.
I should say the Cake Don.
You could say whatever you want. It's the LJ Show. You could call me.
I like that. I like the sound of that. So tell us a little bit about how you became the Cake Don.
I grew up in Queens. Typical Italian upbringing, was an artist my whole life, and there was no other artists around, you know, no uncle or aunt or anybody was an artist, so I never believed I could be an artist for a living, but I was a graffiti kid and just went to school like everybody else did and believed you had to get a job to take care of your family. Had a great job, worked in an office, corporate, but not creative at all. It was just a regular, it was an amazing company, made great money, family, 2 kids, great house, but as far as my creative brain was not being used at all. A freak phone call one day from a friend who knew my artistic ability. She asked me to help her with a cake. She would make cakes all the time for her friends, and she said, "Can you help me make this cake?" And I said, "I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never touched a cake."
Right.
She said, "Don't worry about it. You'll be good at it. It's like clay and the fondant is like sculpting. You'll be perfect." So the next day, she came to my house, March 5th, 2010, and I made my first cake. And it came out great for a first cake.
What kind of cake was it?
It was a King Tut cake, and I took a picture of it. And I didn't think anything. It just left my brain. March 10th, for whatever reason, I decided I was going to post the cake on Facebook and just say, "Check out this cake. I made a cake." I would do that with all my artwork, my paintings and stuff. I posted the cake, and in a minute, my friend who I grew up with in the city wrote, "You're the Cake Don," on Facebook. And I just laughed, ha ha ha. There was not even a thought of there being a Cake Don. There was nothing. And from that post of the cake, people started contacting me, asking me if I could make them cakes for their kids. I called up my friend who had asked me to make the cake with her, and I said, "People want cakes." And she said, "You're looking to be creative. I need some cash. Let's make some cakes."
Sure.
I made a Cake Don Facebook page for the business, and I made cakes out of my house for 1 year on the weekends. And it started to become a thing. And almost a year to the day, I decided that that's what I wanted to do. I couldn't not be creative for another 20 whatever years at a job. I needed to try and figure this out. And I decided I was going to go full-time cake decorator.
Wow.
Yeah. I would say to people right now who are thinking, because right now the side hustle in this pandemic has become the thing. Everybody's got something going on that they think of. They're making jelly out of their house or whatever. Come up with a plan first before you quit your job. Don't quit the job and then figure out the plan. I had two teenage daughters.
Wow.
And mortgage and the whole thing. And it looks cool now that it all worked out. But it was a crazy, first few years were crazy. It was a crazy. So I had to come up with a plan, and I figured I need to work in, I never worked in a bakery before.
Yeah.
So I had to get a regular entry level. I tied an apron on every day, went to a bakery, and I worked in a bakery for 3 years. And I started to figure it out. And then the Cake Don became a thing.
Yeah, you're really well known. Now, when you got involved in it, was it like creating art? Did it become easy to you?
It's like creating art.
Yeah.
So it's not a painting that you're going to hang up. I give you a piece of art, and it's gone.
Exactly.
But the beautiful part now is with social media, it's forever. That cake lives forever on people's Instagram, their page. It doesn't go away. So I can access it. I did a cake for you how many years ago?
I know. You made a cake for my husband's 30th surprise party.
Right.
5 years ago. I just gave away my age.
Right. So if we want to find that cake,
yeah, it's amazing. I have the pictures.
We could go find it on social media. So it's nice that it just lives forever. Yeah. TLC contacted me to be on season 4 of The Next Great Baker, which I had no right being on the show. I was very, very new in the game, but I obviously said yes. I went on, did season 4 with Buddy on TLC. It was incredible. I will tell anybody, if you can get on one of these shows to promote a career or anything, you should definitely do it. It was an amazing experience. I learned a lot. So from that point on, after I filmed the episode, my intention was to open up a shop, and then I opened my own shop after that.
Right, is that the location in Westbury?
Yeah, it's the same location. I'm in Carl Place, right by Roosevelt Field Mall. It's a great location. It's centrally located. People come from, so I'm originally from Queens, and now I live in Suffolk County. So it's a central location for me. I get my Suffolk people will come, and my Queens people will come both, because it's sort of right in the middle. And it's a really supportive community. And now, this is the fun part of it, is just to be a living, to live every day, make a living as an artist, feed my family from the artistic ability, has been the most amazing part, and my kids got to see it. So they're both artists.
Right. How did this influence them?
Yeah, well, they got to see you could actually. And I have been, if I told my mother I was going to go to school for art, or even my friends now that see my kids going, my youngest one goes to Boston Conservatory at Berkeley, and they actually, a few of my friends actually said, "You're going to let her go to school to sing? Like you're going to?" And I said, why would I not let her go to school to sing? My journey was supposed to take 41 years to figure it out. But I think to myself, what if I would have went to art school?
Right.
Or if I would have went to, who knows? I have no idea. But this was the path my journey was supposed to take. And I'm not here to get in anybody's way. My kids, whatever their journey is going to be, I support them. And I try and do the same for my friends, too. A lot of my friends who are trying to create something, like not artistic, but they have a dream for a business or what. I try and just tell them from my experience, the payoff at the end when you can actually build it and it works, it's just incredible. It's incredible. I think about the people who are at their desk, at the computer, right, every day. They're sitting in that cubicle, and their brain, all they can think about is, one guy wants to be a watchmaker, and the other woman wants to do faux painting, and that's all they think about all day at the computer till they leave. All I think about all day is cake, and I'm being totally honest. I think of what I'm doing every day is what I think about all day long. It's incredible.
It's your passion.
Yeah, it's become. It is my passion, and I've been able to turn it into my business, and I couldn't be more grateful for the people that supported me the last 10, 11 years. It's incredible. Yeah,
I am so happy for you. And speaking of schooling and such, did you have to take some courses? Did you have to learn? It seems natural to you?
I had to learn. So working in the bakery did a lot for me, but I can't even explain how much I learned on YouTube. I'm not even lying.
Wow.
I would figure out, you would call me, LJ would call me and say, I need a cake with a fish coming out of the side and a thing. And I would go, yeah, I could do that. And then I would hang up the phone and I go, I can't do that. And I would go on YouTube and I would look for a video. How do you make a fondant fish? Or if I couldn't find how do you make a fondant fish, I would find sculptor videos, clay fish, because it's the same exact thing. So I would find a video on clay, how do you make a fish? And then I would use YouTube. So really, I owe YouTube so much tuition money. Right now, I should have.
I love it though, because honestly, when it's your passion and you just want to be your best, you're just going to learn about it, think about it, and keep finding ways to be better. So we're going to take a short break, and when we get back, I want to ask the Cake Don what his challenging cake was. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's me, LJ. I'm only 5 feet, but my journey is huge. Right after marrying my sweetheart, my world suddenly collapsed. I endured multiple back surgeries and rare health conditions, and I saved a life in the process by donating my kidney. I hit rock bottom pretty hard, but now I'm on top. Since then, I've become a minister, a coach, and a medium. And oh yeah, I also wrote a book. Now I'm fulfilling my lifelong dream and hosting my very own talk show, The LJ Show. Join me for stories of hope and inspiration.
We're Cake, Don. I'm so excited again to have you on the show.
Thank you,
And
RJ.
we left off where I was going to ask you what was the most challenging cake you've ever made?
So recently, we had a husband contact us for a cake for his wife, and he wanted his decapitated head of himself with a zombie hand holding it up.
Okay.
Right, the zombie hand's coming out of the ground. That's holding his head, and there's a bloody axe next to it. Wow. And it says, "You have my heart, now you have my head." And this was for his wife's birthday.
Yeah. YouTube couldn't help you with this one.
No, definitely YouTube didn't help me with this one. Being married for 20 years helped me with the cut-off head cake. Yeah, so we made this cake for him, and the craziest part, which you probably didn't know when I talked to you, the guy who ordered this decapitated head cake was the guy who ordered the first King Tut cake from my friend. Yeah, yeah. So the craziest story, that King Tut cake was for him 10 years ago, and now he came back and ordered this cake for his wife.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Did the wife like it?
she loved it. Oh. She loved the cake. Yeah, they're great customers now. She loved the cake, and I'm sure I'll do plenty of cakes in the future for them, and I'm grateful for that first. Yeah. Without that first King Tut cake, without the phone call, the company I worked for back then, actually is not even in business anymore. So who knows where, I don't even know what I would be doing right now. It's crazy.
Well, this was definitely the plan. And I know that COVID happened, and I know affected everybody's businesses. Now, how'd this affect yours, being that you were making cakes for weddings and birthdays and kind of everything got put on hold?
Yeah, we were the cake guy, the wedding, the Sweet 16, bar and bat mitzvah, whatever, nice big cakes. And we showed up March 13th last year, where everybody started to get really funny around that time. And I had 33 cakes that weekend for various parties. And I hit the answering machine. I came in on a Tuesday, and 30 people canceled out of 33. And, they were saying 2 weeks at that point. It's going to be 2 weeks, and I knew it wasn't going to be 2 weeks. So for whatever reason, I just said, let's make some cupcakes and try and sell cupcakes. And the thing that made it stand out from everybody else, we did free delivery on the dozen. If you order a dozen cupcakes, anywhere in Nassau County is free delivery. And people started to order cupcakes. They didn't want to leave their house, and they wanted a little distraction. So people started to order cupcakes, and it just took off. And then News 12 contacted me to be on News 12. Then Newsday covered the cupcakes. And it just became a thing where now I have a cupcake business as well. It's crazy. And now the cakes are coming back. We're hearing some good news about catering halls and stuff. Yeah, the big parties are going to come back. So now I have a cake business and a cupcake business out of this craziness. In the pandemic, hopefully it turned out to be a positive for a lot of people instead of just every story negative. A lot of people sort of turned it into a positive because they had no choice. Yeah. I see it every day on social media. People that I knew, all of a sudden they have these great new little side businesses or an actual business. And I think the next few years, what this last year, the opportunity that it's going to spawn for a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of businesses that were born from this past year out of people that just were forced to figure something out, and hopefully it'll turn out to be a good thing. I told my two daughters, not that the pandemic was a good thing for their generation, but hopefully it turns out that they use it as a tool now where they realize they can deal with some adversity. These kids in this generation, like the high school, college age, they've had very little adversity growing up on Long Island. It's almost a fake lifestyle. Like we protected these kids so much, and we never wanted them to fail. Every time we protect them, now they realize, you know what? Sometimes it's not great, and hopefully they could have a little recall of this past year and say, you know what? I got through that. My little one, her prom was canceled, her graduation was canceled. All this stuff where at the time was the worst. It couldn't have gotten any worse. Now she's away in college. She's living in Boston. And she's got some tools now to use where if it gets a little tough, she can go, you know what? That was the worst. I got through it. I know the past year for me, there's been moments where, you know, you're waiting for people to call and nobody knows if they should even have a party. Then when they announced Thanksgiving, you can't have more than 10 people. Right, I couldn't, nobody ordered a cake. It was almost like that second they turned the key, no more than 10 people, and then the cake just stopped. It just stopped. Yeah, so, but thank God now it's back.
Yeah.
And
now it's cupcakes. You turned it into
now we're
something
doing,
else. You
We're
had to
doing
find
cupcakes.
you had to
Just
find a
out
way.
of,
Yeah.
just like the King's Hut cake just happened one day, the cupcakes just happened.
Yeah.
And just pay attention. I tell everybody, just pay attention, and the opportunity is going to be there. If you have a passion for something, pay attention. Take the phone call from the friend. When the phone rings, don't hit ignore like we all want to hit ignore. Pick up the phone, talk to a human being. They may ask you to make a King Tut cake one day. For real.
I love it. I
For
love
real.
it. Absolutely. And I just think it's amazing what you do. I mean, it must feel incredible to know that you're part of so many people's celebrations and good memories, right? We always look back, remember that cake? And it like brings people together and celebrating. So I know it's been a little bit difficult during the pandemic, but at the same time, I mean, looking back, it just must feel so good to
What
to
was
have this.
really, really felt great was when I started doing cupcakes, I would get a call from a customer, regular customer, and she would say, I want to order 2 dozen cupcakes. Okay, I would take the flavors, and I would say, all right, what's the address? Where am I sending them? She goes, I don't even want them. She'd say, send them anywhere. I just want to support you guys.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's so sweet.
It was amazing. So people would order, and then I'd say, what should I do with these cupcakes? And this is how the whole essential workers thing started. One woman said to me, send them to North Shore Hospital for the emergency room. Yeah, so we sent them, and then every day people started ordering for LIJ, for North Shore, and we just started sending cupcakes around.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
I have incredible customers.
That is amazing, and I know that they're absolutely delicious. So what do you feel, and I know things just are lining up for you, are you open to whatever's next, or do you have something in mind?
I have a plan for the cupcakes. I'm hoping that Caked On Cupcakes becomes a thing, like the pretzels in the mall, and just becomes a staple, and I can open a cupcake shop anywhere. I can open out east in Greenport. I can open in the Hamptons. I can open Austin, Texas. I can open anywhere. And then that's how I end up in Maui on the beach. And my daughter just can send me the check once a month, and I could go ride on a bicycle with a straw hat on and get a suntan.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
I'll come visit you.
You're welcome to come.
Thank you. And lastly, what message would you have to people that are watching that maybe they're in a business that they don't love, or, you know, maybe they think, oh, I'm past the age of pursuing my dream?
Yeah, I'm 52, okay? And all I keep hearing, so-and-so passed away. This one passed away. And I'm like, we're 50. Like, I'm 52 years old. And I hear peers that I went to school with passing away. I'm not waiting anymore. I did so much waiting. It took me till I was 42 to even think about being an artist. So I don't even wait anymore. If you're thinking about that thing all day, every day, if that's the thing you think about, that's the thing you should be doing. But I'm not telling, don't quit your job. Do not quit your jobs. Get home, at 6 o'clock, and I'm in the business, the cake business, from 6:30, 7 o'clock to 11:30. I'm doing my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook. I'm on my social media. Come home from your job and dedicate those hours to your other passion. And then sooner or later, you'll know. If you get the reaction, then maybe it could become the thing that you could really do. But just do it. Just give it a try. Stop thinking about if it works, if it doesn't work, what your mother's going to say, what this one. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what they're going to say. Just give it a shot and see if it works.
Absolutely.
Most of the time, if you love it and you're passionate about it and you're good at it, it's going to work. You just got to stick it out. You just got to do it for long enough.
Absolutely. Thank you. So
Now look, there's an LJ show now.
Right? Isn't that cool? And it's funny you say that, because all I do is I think about the show and I love it, and it's my passion.
And there's a
Didn't
show.
go looking for it, but it's a show, and I got the cake done.
Right, you're not sitting here thinking about, wow, I wish I had a sweater company.
Right.
And I knit somebody should knit sweaters if that's what
Someone should make me a sweater.
Right,
You know?
there you go.
Yeah.
But you thought about a show, and here's your show.
Here it is.
Yeah.
So let's continue to follow our dreams and eat the cake, I
That's
guess,
it.
right? So before we take a commercial break, I just want to present you with a little something from the LJ show.
Oh my God.
So the first thing is just a couple things for your bakery
Oh, I
and
like
anywhere else. So
this.
the first thing I'm going to give you is, you like it? All right, I like gifts too. So the first one is, it says here, the Cake Don, thank you for rolling with the LJ show.
You're so clever, LJ.
And yes, I do think of these things myself.
I love it.
I think I'm clever. And the last thing, I know you love graffiti, so I got you a personalized graffiti sign that says the
Awesome.
Cake Don to hang up. So, and you can put everything in.
I will hang that in the shop.
Awesome.
And if anybody wants to come visit this picture at the shop, swing by.
Tell me
And
about the LJ show.
I have something for you, LJ.
For me?
Yes, dear.
Okay.
I brought you a cake today with a 1 on top to celebrate season 1 of the LJ show.
I still have to film and you're making me cry.
Yeah, good. Wait till you eat it. It even tastes even better.
Oh my God. Well,
So it says season 1, it's a wrap on there.
Yeah.
And I'm the finale, and I'm so happy I was able to do the last show.
Oh my God, it's absolutely beautiful.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
my pleasure.
I still can't believe that it's season 1, it's finished. I can't believe it. So thank you. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to try this. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's me, LJ. I'm only 5 feet, but my journey is huge. Right after marrying my sweetheart, my world suddenly collapsed. I endured multiple back surgeries and rare health conditions, and I saved a life in the process by donating my kidney. I hit rock bottom pretty hard, but now I'm on top. Since then, I've become a minister, a coach, and a medium. And oh yeah, I also wrote a book. Now I'm fulfilling my lifelong dream and hosting my very own talk show, The LJ Show. Join me for stories of hope and inspiration.
Welcome back. It's now time for Ask LJ. That's right. We're going to see what our audience and viewers wrote in to Ask LJ. So, this is a good one. What is the next step for LJ? So, or for example, what do you want to add to your resume? Well, the next step, you guys, is I'm excited to announce is going to be a season 2 of the LJ Show. And thank you so much. Couldn't do it without everyone who tunes in every week and our audience. And so, yeah, it's definitely going to be a season 2. But the next step, what I would like to add to my resume. Let's see. I've done a lot, but I would love to definitely take the show on the road. I mean, I would love to take this international and travel and go places. So let's keep going. And now it's time for the mediumship twist in the show. So I'm really excited to take a moment to connect with Spirit. It's been a really long day, so give me a second. Okay. So I want to go to the female that's in Spirit, and she's taking me to the hospital, okay? She's taking me to the hospital, and she makes me feel she's a little bit on the heavier side. I do see her being on oxygen, so I definitely feel that she was having some breathing issues and definitely some lung issues. So I do know that she passes in the hospital. I do know that she would have had some pre-existing conditions as well. So I do understand that she was not always her healthiest, because I do see that she would have loved, interesting enough, Spirit always does this, but interesting enough, I see cupcakes and I see sweets, and I definitely feel somebody who, I don't know if this is connected to diabetes, because I almost feel like I'm getting like insulin, or I almost feel like we had to control our sugar. We definitely had to control our sugar, and she goes, and I didn't listen. And she comes off with a little bit of a stubbornness, but I also feel a lot of like sarcasm with her as well. So if you could understand this, just please raise your hand. And she had a hard time getting around as well. So I don't know that we were able to walk. I do feel that it was very debilitating for her to walk. I do know that we would have had some issues with our legs. And this is the feeling that I'm getting. I do keep seeing a wedding cake. I want to acknowledge a wedding. But I just feel like there would be a wedding coming up, or we're not here for this wedding that's taking place, and they're showing me like a wedding cake. And I also feel like there was either music playing at the time of her passing or a connection to music that was playing, because I just feel like I hear music connected to her in the background. And I feel like she shows me her furniture being like very old. Do you understand everything that I'm saying?
Yes, the piano. We still have the baby grand in the living room.
Okay.
The old furniture from her parents when they built the house, all of that, and she's very strong-willed.
Okay, strong-willed,
Yes.
and the sweets and the
Yes.
unable. Okay, because I
The diabetes.
Okay, oxygen, passing with family in the hospital, and you
Right.
understand the music playing, or we're
Right.
surrounded by her family as well. And I also feel, and did you understand the Tom or the T connection?
Well, my niece calls me TT, and I just got married previously, and I honored them at my wedding.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you so much for that validation and making
my,
that together.
my girls, I'm actually wearing my niece's bracelet that says TT.
Oh my gosh,
That she gave
okay.
to me, yep.
Beautiful. So the tea and the wedding cake you understood too,
Right.
because
And
she
that-
wouldn't have been
right.
present here for your wedding. But I feel like should she have been, because I feel like she was there in spirit. And I feel like if I had to say how she looks like now, it's interesting. I feel like she would have put it on her dancing shoes, and
Yep.
she definitely would have been involved in that aspect.
Yep.
And I don't know what kind of wedding you had, but I almost feel like we had like, I don't know why I keep seeing like a vintage type of like old fashioned type of wedding. Would you say I
Wizard
don't
of
see you?
Oz.
Oh my God.
And she wore like a vintage dress.
Yes, my grandmother had a T-length dress, and I wanted to do the same thing.
Oh my
when I
gosh.
got married, and their picture was actually in my bouquet.
Oh, so beautiful. It
Yeah.
just felt like just vintage, and
Yes.
just something
Absolutely.
was vintage and different about your wedding as well. So I just definitely have to bring through her presence and just how happy she is. Because I feel like she was stubborn, like I mentioned, but just very loving. And I just feel like that's her way of saying I'm still part of the celebration. She's here right now because she's celebrating because she knows the cake is here.
Right.
So she's like, I'm going to come
Yeah.
through. I'm like, really? We're starting with cake. But Spirit, that's how Spirit works, and they're absolutely awesome. So just know that she's celebrating the birthdays and the wedding anniversaries and everything else. She's here celebrating with you. She's here celebrating season 1. Thank you for allowing me to connect with her. What a perfect finale to the reading on this season. Thank you so much. Love and blessings to you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to tell you first what everybody's going home with today. So everybody's going home with some Delamore tomato sauce. Right? Just remember to invite LJ over for dinner. I have a little break before I go to filming again. And actually, this is my assistant Karen's grandmother on there as well. So it's very special homemade sauce. And here we have a pair of, if you got girls like jewelry, right? So I love touchstone crystal Swarovski. It's what I wear in a lot of my shows. So a pair of blingy earrings. Really? A pair of blingy earrings? I'll keep them. I'll keep them. No problem. Yeah, everyone's like, am I gonna, who's she gonna pick? So, some bling. Who's going home with some bling? Kelly! Now it's time for some cake. I want to thank you all for tuning in every week and allow me to bring you stories of hope and inspiration. Thanks to you, there will be a season 2. If you or someone you know has an amazing story to tell, please apply at www.theljshow.tv. We look forward to hearing from you, and I want you all to know that the best is yet to come. Stay safe and healthy. I'm your host, LJ. Love and blessings.